Gail, I need you to join me.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hold on. Happy birthday,
Dear Travis.
dear Travis. Happy birthday
to
you. And this is your gift.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Today is Travis's birthday. Yes, yes. And that all for the low cost of $12.
Happy birthday.
You can get your cookies for your birthday present. Happy birthday to Travis. Today is Travis's birthday. I don't know how old he is. Travis, how old you is? You got a baby face. You look like you at least about 18 years
I ain't
old.
got no cookie.
Travis can give you some, man.
Oh.
Travis can wait you know. Welcome to the Entrepreneurship the Culture podcast. And as you can tell people, today is an extremely special day.
Yes.
Our co-host, Mr. Travis Miller, is celebrating his 28th birthday on this second day of February 2017. Let's give him a round of applause for still being alive in the gun town called Nassau.
Wow.
Thank you, Travis. We appreciate your presence today.
Wow.
And we are honored to be in your presence as you celebrate this 28th birthday. We're happy that you decided on your birthday to spend it with us. Because you know, a lot of people, they take time off. They don't want to work on their birthday. They don't want to do the regular scheduled days on their birthday. They believe that they belong to them.
Yes.
But you decide to spend it.
They make excuses.
Yes. You decide to spend it with us, and we just want to let you know that we appreciate that, you know, babe.
We appreciate
that.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
I think I usually don't do anything big for my birthday, so this is a huge surprise.
Yay.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody out there for the
Aw.
warm happy birthday gifts.
Okay.
And I will break a cookie and a crumb for everybody who's wished me happy birthday. Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, now we got that out of the way.
I know, right?
Yes. So, Travis, and I know y'all, I ain't signing no major label deals. I know all y'all who heard that wonderful singing in the beginning. I ain't interested. I have a career at this time. I don't have time to do a music deal, so, you know. You can just keep your offers, although I appreciate
Hold
it.
in the back pocket.
Yeah. Keep them maybe later, but right now I don't want no contract, so y'all could keep them. Travis,
Hey.
since today is your birthday,
Hey.
and you know we normally don't pick topics in advance. We
We
go on
don't.
the fly.
We don't.
So what we talking about today, please?
So the topic that we decided to talk about today 3 minutes ago is timing. Timing. So, and I guess we kind of touched on a lot of things in terms of like when to take the leap, but timing more so in the sense that when you've already taken the leap, or you're in a position where you just have thought a lot about different ideas or things that you want to do, and the timing in terms of executing those ideas. So that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
Because I know me personally, especially the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking about not necessarily new projects, but kind of the ones that
You have going on
I have
now?
going on right now, and I have a lot of things that I want to do, but like timing is key in terms of when to do those things. Some things I could do immediately. Some things have to line up a little bit better. I don't know if is it just me? Should I be tackling all at the same time? What's the right time? And like, how do you execute with the right timing?
Okay. So I guess that ties in a little bit with the management of your time, as well as
Correct.
the timing of when you do things. So yeah. Okay, well, I don't know. You want to give us an example of something?
Let's say one thing I want to do is, like I do a lot of, in terms of automation and delegation, I do a lot of tasks repetitively. So one of the things that I want to do is start documenting those tasks, so I could either delegate those better, or B, just automate a lot, like improve a lot of processes. My thing is that I could either say I could kind of document the things as I go, or there's a lot of things I could backtrack and do and kind of document, but that takes a lot of time. So
Right.
but the thing is, like, if I invest that time to do it now, it would save me time
Later on.
down the
Is it
way.
an option for somebody else to do it? Would you pay somebody else to do it? Like, is it that bad?
I mean, I would pay somebody else to do it, but it's like me trying to sit down with the person and explain everything to them feels like double work. So, but again, is that just me? Because like I could be helping myself and being kind of my future self,
Yeah.
as opposed to like just waiting down the line or just doing it piece by piece. What do you think? Do you guys have any issues with like timing with your specific projects going on right now?
I
Yeah.
think we all do.
I do, for sure.
So you do? Mm-hmm. Go on first. Let me try looking for this thing. I'm trying to share the video.
Well, my thing is I get a little like ADD/ADHD because every time I have something that comes up, I want to work on that right away.
Right.
And I kind of abandon whatever it is that I was working on before. And
Right.
then I have to somehow get back around to completing those tasks. And sometimes it doesn't really work out like
Yeah.
that. So for me, it's more like timing and also focus.
Yeah, which is what goes
Whereas
hand in
like
hand.
concentrating on completing the task at hand before moving on to the next one. And that gets to be so, like I just get bored. You know, like you're working on something for like 2-3 hours and it's not really complete. And then something else comes up and then I drop that to work on something else, but it's not really good. So I don't know.
Hip hop come on.
No, I don't know.
But see, I have that. I have that thing kind of in reverse, where like the thing with, like I get an analysis process where like I try to analyze how could I use my time best, and I try to fit those things that I need to do in that pocket of time. And then most times out of not, I get frustrated because I never complete anything out of that time because either something comes up or, you know, it's like, oh. So like in terms of like timing, I try to adjust things as best as possible for me to kind of have that domino effect where I can knock a bunch of those things at the same time. But there's always something or some emergency or some fire that has to get put out where it's be like, oh. And the thing about that with me is like you get frustrated sometimes because it's like, especially if you go throughout the week, especially the week with 5, 6, 7 days out of the week, depending on how much you work, it's like at the end of that, if you don't accomplish what you wanted to do from day one, it's like, oh, damn it. And you kind of beat yourself up about it.
And I wonder how you like prioritize as well, because prioritizing tasks, you know, some things take priority over another task, but then does each task take priority over the last, or how do you decide what's priority? Well,
the thing I struggle with the most is that all things on your to-do list are not created equal, but it's hard to really defer from that when you just look at it at a list. So it's like you have to really suggest, okay, what's like one of the things that I use is like an Eisenhower box.
What's that?
What's that?
Things out here.
But no, it's like a thing where if I have a to-do list, it's a way to prioritize what I'm doing by like urgent, not urgent, important, not important.
Okay.
And I kind of organize my whole list into like a grid with the things I need to focus on, right? But
how do you determine what you need to focus on?
It's really dependent on the urgency by either a client or it just needs to get done, or a deadline.
So you have a deadline. Okay.
Yeah,
right, cool.
or deadlines. But then again, the problem what I have with that is that in terms of timing is that something may not be important today, but if you let it go for 3, 4, 5 days, it gets important. And it's like, oh, you have that kind of anxiety to like, oh, but I haven't worked on that, you know, all it. So it's always a constant battle to try to reconfigure what's the thing I need to be focusing on the most. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I struggle with. Just like I'm pretty sure everyone has issues when it comes to timing. And like Gail, I just get bored. Man. I ain't lie. I get bored easily, and I switch. You know, my interests switch. So I tend to be all over the place at times and not really accomplish certain things that I really should be accomplishing in a certain amount of time. And it's just a matter of just having so many interests. It's like when you're interested in so many different things and you want to accomplish so many things, you kind of spread yourself out too thin.
And it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is. Like, it is, because to be honest, probably if I had narrowed my focus on my main business, then I probably wouldn't be doing these things. You know what I mean? So I guess what to do, a good way to judge it is to do what the flick you want to do. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, like, in the real talk, I mean, it's as crazy as that may sound, that's what I want. Like, that's what I want to do.
Just do what you want to do. Like,
but
what you
my
wanna,
thing is,
you're interested at that time, like what you feel passionate about and what's pulling you. Just do it.
But to me, the thing about it, and it may be the wrong thing, but I feel like it's a relinquish. Like I relinquish control that way. Like, especially a lot of things in terms of timing and me being fully engaged in a project. Like I have to be super focused and flow. Like I have to give my all to a project.
Right.
one, you get distracted with like 8 or 9 things you got to go around. So it's me telling myself that I need to focus on this one thing. But it's again like what you're saying, just losing control and just do what you want to do, and just wherever your heart is telling you you need to work on today, you need to work on today. And I mean, like, I haven't really compared the two methods of doing that to each one and seeing which one's the better one. But I could definitely say I feel better when I let go and do what I need to do. But it still feels kind of reckless in the sense that you're
being irresponsible in some way.
Yeah.
By neglecting something else.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that too, but I like I said, I come to the realization that you're happiest when you're doing what you want to do. You know what I mean? And although you may say, oh, well, I could have been this far doing this, or been, but how would you have felt? You know what I mean? Would you have been as fulfilled? Because you doing multiple things, the things that you involve in may bring more fulfillment than, say, you advancing in one of those things. You know what I mean? So I guess it's whatever makes you happy and makes you feel fulfilled. I think you should, put your focus on and divide your time up accordingly. That's
I
just
think
my take on
our
it.
culture is really emphasize this idea of doing multiple things at one time, or juggling, or this act of just doing different tasks and multitasking. And we've kind of become obsessed with that to the point where if we're not doing 3 or 4 things at once, we kind of feel like we're not doing anything at all. That's not necessarily the case. Like, I've had to use lists. I don't like to-do lists. I don't know. I don't like them. Yeah, I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't.
Dog,
but I forget
I thrive on
so
to-do
much
lists.
now. No, he's been, from my knowing Charles, he's been like, he may not get through the list, but for sure he have like a 20 long list that he's gonna work through. So
I can't stand them things, but I'll be honest with you. I hate lists.
To-do lists, writing it down also has helped me, because as I am writing, whatever it is I'm trying to say.
That's it.
I can remember, as I write, I'm remembering things so that when I look back, I'm like, oh, yes, I still have this to do and that to do. But I must say, finally relinquishing acquiescence to the list has been helpful for me to get through tasks. So I don't know if you're a list person out there, if you're concerned with timing, maybe a list. Travis is a list expert.
Yes.
I like lists.
Yes.
So he will be able to assist you in terms of getting the list. But working through that to-do list every single day is important. And also important is celebrating when you complete items on your to-do list. Like giving yourself that mini... Yes, I did that.
So how do you do it? How do you celebrate the small wins? That's like another thing on my thing in terms of like celebrating the small wins.
Well, it really depends on you. You can reward yourself. Like for me, I'll get like a Starbucks. No, I'll get like a Starbucks coffee. Yeah, that's my little treat. You did a great job. Wonderful. Let's go get some coffee. Or if I really feel a good sushi for lunch that day. Again, these are things that I've generally cut back on. So now they're like rewards. Or you reward yourself with chocolate. Reward yourself with 10 minutes outside. Go smell some fresh air. Reward yourself with a walk. Like find little ways. You got to take that break in between, because we're also again obsessed with meeting these goals and deadlines, and we're not taking time to celebrate any of our little small accomplishments. We're always focused like, okay, we did this. Okay, what's next? And
that's me all the way.
It's not good.
Think so?
Yeah, you have to take that like even 5 minutes just for yourself to celebrate yourself. Number one, because ain't nobody else celebrating you, and number two, to take that break in your mind.
Does it have to be like?
But here's my here's my thing with it. I mean, like, just to jump in on that.
I know, right?
It's like, I feel like it's still, even with doing what you want to do and celebrating the small wins, I still feel like it's a you still need a level of discipline for both.
Right.
And I feel like if you get too lax, it could be more detrimental, because in my mind, like, if I celebrate, like, if things are going good, I knock out a project, or like I don't get an email for a while or whatever like that, right? I feel like I get a little bit more free time. Yeah. Like, it'll eventually get to the point like, boy, I am not using my time wisely. Okay. And I get anxious and I feel like I should be doing something else type of thing. So it's like
put conditions on it like everything else in life. So you have your to-do list that's 20 items long. You complete 10. But you get a 5-minute break. Yeah. Like work it in as
try to
best
gamify
as you can. But like you say, in moderation. You work in moderation, and then you play in moderation. So yeah. Crystal says she uses the app Wonderlist or Wonderlist. Maybe Wonder. I'm not sure.
Wonderlist.
To keep her organized.
Yeah, I use Evernote. I'm a big Evernote fan.
And big up Sean Lee King Johnson. So
yeah,
she
hi,
also
Sean
lives
Lee.
and dies by a list.
Yes.
So Travis has company.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I do, but
Very
it doesn't mean it's just the right thing, because sometimes I will admit, like, there's days where like I get overload and I have to abandon the list and just be like, whatever this one thing that is in front of me right now, I have to work on this thing. I can't think about X, Y, and Z because like even like because the anxiety that gets built up from like having in the back of your head all the things that you need to do, it kind of robs you from time. Again, it gets that analysis paralysis because I'll be doing work and then I'll hit a snug and it'll be like, okay, can't really do anything right now, or that has to upload or whatever the thing. Let me switch to something else, and like that adds up, and it'll be like, oh, all these things.
Yeah.
Oh, so I mean, it's interesting, but again, like trying to focus back on timing, talking about deadlines would probably be more the present and goals long term. To what has always given me relief is that as long as I move the needle, it may not go all the way, but as long as I move the needle, I know, and I have a kind of like a timeline of when I want to do that. I know I'll have less anxiety. So it's more more long term versus short term. But short term, I feel like I get defeated because it's like, oh, I didn't finish what I said I wanted to do today.
You know what else I like to do is to extend deadlines past the time that I think that I will complete the task. So it'll be like under promise, over deliver. I've heard that before.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
So if I know I can complete a job, let's say maybe in like a day or two, I will let the client know that I'll have it completed in like 3 or 4 days to give myself that slight leeway. But I have a personal deadline of that 2-day window. Right. And that also helps with, client expectations to say, yeah, you have, okay, if something does happen, you have that time frame to work with. Yeah. But then you also have that little time frame to, sort of impress the client a little bit by getting the work in early. So that's another thing that I like to do, like move deadlines up personally. Yeah. But you have to give yourself time to do things in your business as well.
That was my problem. I used to you say?
Over promise and under deliver.
Used to over. That's the that's it. Used to over promise and under deliver.
Yeah.
Early on, because I wanted to have it there in a certain amount of time, knowing that it's going to be really ridiculous to make that time.
Yeah. Right.
But and I had someone tell me that, one of my customers tell me, you're under promise and over deliver.
Right.
So you give a time, like you just said, give more time than you feel it's going to take.
Right.
I still, to a degree, struggle with it, but I have been allotting a lot more time, just in case. So that is a good practice. So even though you feel as though you could deliver something in a certain amount of time, it's good to give even more time, because stuff happens.
Right.
Things happen that you may not be prepared for. So that's a good practice as well. How many other people? Any of you all wish it was more hours in a day? Just me.
I do. I think about that every day almost. I think about how to, as impractical as it may be to feel like there are more hours in a day, I constantly try to find ways in terms of time, and to multiply the time that I do have.
How do you do that?
So one important thing is like to get in flow, like to really be active in a task that you're working in, where like the time isn't an issue, it just slips away. So like you have to be so interested in a project that you are so enthusiastic about a project that's the only thing you're working on, so it gets done, right? So, and that goes a lot with timing in terms of when do you work like in the day. Like I get in the habit now where I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, chill out for a little bit, 6 o'clock to 9, no one's ringing my phone. No one's, no distractions or anything. So that is pure 3 hours of work that I could work to. And that 3 hours is a different 3 hours in the afternoon, because your email's always going off. Your phone's always going off. So that 3 hours is really 1.5, maybe 2 hours. So I optimize the time of work by actually giving me time to focus on what I'm actually doing. And that's how I maximize it. Nothing really changes hours wise, but I know nothing else would distract me and take away from that time, so that's how I multiply it. And then other stuff like that too, like getting the adequate amount of sleep. You could kind of hack it where...
What is adequate?
It depends. People, to me...
on a good day?
On a good day, to me is like 5 hours. 5 hours of sleep.
Real talk.
People say 7 to 8 hours to be functioning.
I don't sleep.
Yeah, but 5 hours is
I sleep like maybe 4 on a good night.
It was
like
bad, like 4 or 3 hours. It used to be worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like 4 or 5 hours. But I mean, like, okay, so.
And I got my Fitbit now, so when I go to sleep, it monitors how long I'm sleeping for on my patterns and
Yes.
stuff, and if I'm restless and stuff.
Fitbit.
That's what it is.
For your health needs, please sponsor us. But yeah, so like maximizing that time. So again, it all goes with again time. And so like, do you know personally when you work better? Like throughout what period of the day do you work better?
I was going to get to that. Mm-hmm. How I've been maximizing time lately is, and I just told someone this. I think I tell Chrissy this. What you do is you analyze your day and how it's been going, you know, in recent times, and you figure out. At least for me, maybe something different for someone else. I figure out what are my least productive hours of the day. Mm-hmm. And because sleep was an issue for me, I wasn't sleeping much, and I realized that I was taking a toll, and I was sleeping on the road and stuff. So I needed to find a way to get more sleep. So I decided to find hours where I'm least productive, and I discovered that my least productive hours would be in the nighttime, like say between 9 and 12 would be my least productive hours. That would be like after I've already, you know, done my deliveries, done whatever shows I have to do, made my dough and prep for the next day, and then it would be like, you know, you go try to do some work on Facebook or something. I would spend probably an hour and a half fighting sleep, trying to do work, realizing that
this was counterproductive.
I'm not doing good work because I'm fighting sleep the entire time, so I'm not being productive.
Right.
So I decided, just go sleep that time. You know what I mean? Take that time to go sleep, and it has allowed me in the past couple of weeks. Straight up been waking up like 2 o'clock in the morning. So my day has been starting at 2 o'clock for the past couple of weeks because I've taken those low productive hours from like 9, 10 or so to go to sleep. So I get about 4 hours sleep, 4, maybe 5 depending, but mostly 4 hours sleep, and then go on with the next day from 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's how I've, you know, been maximizing my time as a just sleeping during the least productive hours of the day.
Okay.
I can dig it.
Well, for me, I only think about if you die today, who's gonna do this?
Okay.
Let's get motivated.
And that anything that I may feel like, okay, I'm running out of time, I have this hard deadline, whatever, and I'm just at that point where it's like this is not gonna be productive anymore. That's it.
Word.
And I figure if it's really important, somebody else is going to do it if I kill myself from sleep deprivation. So I might as well go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my motto.
Yes.
Don't stress yourself.
Yeah.
No, you don't stress yourself. And there's a level of guilt. Like, it's still like, oh.
Yeah, because like I said, we have this culture. We've developed this culture where it's like an obsession. We love to be busy doing nothing.
Oh, no, you think so?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Love to be busy. They're always late. They're always this. They're always that. But being busy or the appearance of being busy is always very important.
Okay.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's like I got something
No,
to
but
do.
they're at work.
Workflow?
Hashtag workflow.
I hate seeing that.
And, like,
Yeah.
I definitely get that. And like I said, too, and again, this is no shade to the 9-to-5ers, but like how we're having these conversations and in terms of like configuring how we use our hours. Like when you're working for yourself, you could do those things. Like in terms of configuring when you rest, when you work your best time to work and all those things.
There's that meme that's like I think Greg posted it before too, but if you are like you work a 9 to 5 and you come home and don't work on your business, you're lazy, you're not uninspired, or something like that. Something to that effect.
I saw something like that too, yeah.
You know, you are working a 9 to 5, but you do have other hours in the day that you can use to be productive on your own things.
Yeah, and it's like when I saw someone break it down before, but you just break down. Excuse me. It's 24 hours in a day. If you have a job, you work about
8 hours.
8 hours is your work shift.
Right.
Let's say you take an hour to prep, get to work. Another hour, get from work home. It's 10 hours. So you still got 14 hours. Chances are you ain't sleeping for 14 hours.
Right.
So if you sleep for, that's what the recommended.
7.
8 hours.
7.
Let's use 8. We can be generous. If we we use 8 out of that, right?
Yeah.
You got what you was doing with the other 6 hours. So that's 6 hours of time Even if you want to take 2 hours of recreation
Right.
to do whatever, you relax,
Watch Love and
kick
Hip Hop.
back. Yeah. No, don't do that. don't do that. That's a waste of time. But even if you want to take that time, you still have 4 hours. So you do have time to work on, I guess, whatever it is you may want to work on, even if you're not an entrepreneur, some form of personal development, or a little something on the side where you can make extra money, anything that you want to do, you have the time. This is why I stopped saying, boy, I ain't have time. I ain't got the time to do this. I ain't got time. No, we all have the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I may not, what I say is, I ain't dedicating my time to that. So it's not a matter, I don't have time. I just ain't got time for that.
Right.
So I don't just say, I ain't got time. We have time. It's what we prioritize and what we do with our time that's important. And a lot of people do garbage with their time, basically.
Yeah.
Essentially, they spend a lot of time goofing off and then complain. Now, if you goof off and you happy, more power to you, brother.
Sound like Gary V.
That's your time. That's your time. Yeah.
I can't tell you. I don't know
That
what
sound
make
like
you,
Gary V.
but it's true. I don't know what make you happy in life. If that making you happy, then more power to you. But if you goofing off, then I don't want him.
And you mad about it. Yeah.
You cannot be mad, miserable, but you goofing off. Don't complain, because this is what you do. You shape your life. You create this. You in control of this.
Yep.
So if you want to waste your time playing Call of Duty, texting gals who ain't into you, watching Love and Hip Hop,
put an asterisk on that. You gotta do some graphics on it. Put like an asterisk on that.
If you want to waste your time doing them things, like I say, if that make you happy and you content with where you are, you love your job, you have income, and you happy, fine.
Yeah.
But don't be around there complaining and talking about how rough it is, how hard it is, and what you can do, because you wasting time goofing off.
I feel you.
Essentially, that's my spiel on timing.
Oh.
Cool. I see Bradford said, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Bradford.
Hi, Bradford.
He said, I use Asana app. I don't know what that is.
Asana. Yes.
What's that?
It's a project management app. So it gives you scheduling, and it lets you see your project. It's kind of like Trello. I mean, they kind of have some more Trello features now too, but Asana is a great app for kind of managing overall the project. We kind of used it for Starter Island for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. Yeah, and they've been doing a lot of improvements. Actually, one of the first few people who were at Facebook left to work on that project full time, so it's pretty dope.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, just and a lot of that is tied to energy too. Like I mean, like when you find out how to efficiently use your time, and like are you 100% fully engaged in terms of energy to do that? Because it's like I sometimes at the end of the day, it's like I know I have a lot of stuff to do, and I know and not necessarily that I don't want to do, I want to do, but it's just like you just drained with energy and timing, you just don't do it, and that could add up whether you don't do a project or you do it. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about it in terms of being energized throughout the day?
To do something? I had the wrong person to ask about that.
I think you are energized when it's something that you want to.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And that's why I said earlier, just do what you want to do, babe. If you have to like really force yourself to do something, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
True.
You shouldn't be doing it, because you probably won't do a good job at it anyway.
Right.
Because you're not motivated or driven to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's hard sometimes, because I still fight with that as well, because it's like I think I want to do this thing, but then it's like nothing's pulling me to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and it almost feels like you like.
Yeah, it's like
you are literally laying on the ground with no arms and no legs,
Yes.
and it's like, oh, you gotta do this thing.
You start to resent the project or the activity, in my opinion. Like it really takes on a whole other life unnecessarily because of you not wanting to do it. You're trying to force yourself to do it.
Because there's a couple things that I had on my list from Massey.
Yeah, see.
For me though,
that I should
just cross them off.
Yeah.
And I could do it.
No, you
can't.
Just cross them off. Oh, sorry, that's not what I was supposed to say. Go ahead, Thomas.
No, but the thing about it is, when especially when I get to that, I still feel like, especially if you're providing a service or doing something for somebody, I still feel like when I get to the point where you kind of get, feel a little bit of resentment, I always try to figure out why did I want to do this in the first place, or what's the end all, like, to kind of get re-energized. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't take on this project for no reason. So why do I want to do this?
So it's possible for you to lose resentment for something.
Yeah, I think so.
Must
because
be
it's
nice.
like if you no, I mean it is. If you again, and it
be
goes with
nice.
time, and you gotta.
No, that's cool.
If you're always in the trenches working on it, and
Yeah.
like you never get a break to do it, and it feels like every day bleeds together,
Mm-hmm.
you never get like a chance to be like, like, you know, what the hell am I doing this for? This feels like hell. But I feel like if you take enough of a break, and you say, okay, like, well, okay, I obviously I'm not giving my all to this project. Why did I do this? Why do I want to do this? Then I kind of get some type of, okay.
Like a push?
Yeah, a kind of a push. You know what I mean? On top of other things, like, you know, it's important for this person as well. Like, for me, like, me taking on every project, one of the things I keep in mind is that I was chosen to do this project because obviously I could help in a way that someone couldn't have necessarily done it before.
Okay.
Now, I mean, there's a whole different conversation on that in terms of like, you know, not being used, like taking advantage of and all that stuff. But I
Next
still feel
topic, write it down, girl.
that's the next topic. But but like I always feel like obviously you know you want to, when it comes to design, especially solving problems.
Mm-hmm.
You were approached with this problem to solve this problem for somebody, you know, to essentially make their life better or easier, or like to open up opportunities. So I don't take that for granted. So I use that, and on top of why did I take this in the first place, to kind of re-energize myself anytime I get into those low points.
Cool.
Awesome.
Complete
All right.
opposite for me. Once I start resenting a project,
That's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
I think history shows that.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, rejuvenation with Gail. I want over.
That right off.
Over. When she ain't on that run no more, that's a wrap.
Hey,
You understand? All right. Well, anything else you want to add? We can wrap up now.
nah, I'm good.
All right. Cool. Thank you for that.
Make
Thank
your
you
list.
for again.
Thank you, everybody.
Again, Travis, you're getting close to that 30, boy. You're getting close. Grammy can start asking for them grandchildren.
My Lord.
Oh my God! When you bring up the baby them, when you gonna bring the baby them round the bus? What?
Oh, Lord.
So thank you for tuning in, people. This was episode 29 discussing timing. Next one could be 30. What are we going to talk
Yes.
about? You all say you're on double taking advantage of?
Yeah, advantage. People taking advantage.
People
of
taking
you in
advantage.
Business.
Taking advantage.
That'll be the next episode.
All right.
Hopefully remember this.
Awesome. All right. So thank you once again, people. And as we wrap up with every episode. Oh, no, but Travis, where we game party, man? Where the party is?
I don't-
We got to get drunk today.
Hey, where the
I don't
party
party.
at?
Drink low and white them out and get right off.
No party.
Yeah.
No
No
party?
party. Just chilling out. All right.
All right. All right, people.
Can't forget.
Why you stop, man? I like that dance. Keep doing it. As we always end, you want to close it out? Go ahead.
Losers make excuses. Winners make adjustments.
It's birthday, boys. Get drunk.
Whoa!
Later.
It's the after show. It's the after show. Oh yeah, it's the after show. Woo!
After show for Drew.
Soon.